Hello, John aka Chicken Fillets here. Now it's that time of year where us content creators tell you, well, what the best games of 2024 are. Now I'm no exception, except with my rule, well, we're basically going to talk about the games which I played in 2024, not just what was released in 2024. It makes my life a lot easier. So yes, with that in mind, we're going to have a look at the 5 best JRPGs I played in 2024. Now before we get cracking on, if you like JRPGs, knowing what the best JRPG I played in 2024 and a wee Scottish guy talk about it, well, please consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's have a look. Frameland, a binary tale from developer and publisher Frameland Games, which was released on the 30th of October 2024. Now, as per the bio, a mysterious incident throws Ryu headfirst into a foreign world. Dangers lurk around every corner as swarms of machines bring humanity to the brink of destruction, but not all have lost hope, and new alliances are waiting to be forged, all for one goal: to return home. Now, right at the last minute, this game has managed to swoop on in and take the number 5 spot in my top 5 JRPGs that I played in 2024, and well, for good reason. This short but excellent turn-based JRPG just did absolutely everything for me. Now, the story which has been presented in Frameland is one that will stick with me. Now, this is a shorter RPG. You are able to complete the actual story within 8 hours. And this in storytelling within games is no easy feat to accomplish, and the developers have definitely managed to do this. And due to the shorter runtime as well, it didn't outstay its welcome. It didn't add additional things which didn't need to be there. Everything was just absolutely on point for me. Now, the game sports timed turn-based combat, which kept me engaged my whole playthrough. Now, you might be thinking, what the hell is timed turn-based combat? So let's say, for example, you select the attack button. Now, what will happen here is a yellow square will appear over the enemy. A timed QTE will appear over the yellow square. Now, if you hit that perfectly, well, you're going to build up your action points, your AP, meaning you might be able to select a stronger attack within your next turn. The game also sports a fantastic 16-bit style and also sports an amazing soundtrack, something I always look for in my JRPGs. Now, let's be honest, with a plethora of 16-bit indie RPGs out there, you want your game to stand out, and I really think Frameland does this compared to many other amazing indie RPGs. Now, for full clarity as well, I've got to let you know that I received this game via review code from Frameland Games themselves. Now, they reached out to me after they saw that their game got included in one of my lists, which was indie RPGs on my radar. But everything I've told you is my thoughts. I've not been told to say anything. This was an amazing time that I've had, and I'm going to do a full, proper Steam Deck review on this game later in the week. Persona 3 Reload. Now, this Atlas JRPG was released back in February 2024. It was developed by Atlas and published by Sega. It's available to play on PlayStation, Xbox and PC, and I completed this on this Steam Deck. Now, as per the bio, dive into the dark hour and awaken the depths of your heart. Persona 3 Reload is a captivating reimagining of the genre-defining RPG, reborn for the modern era with cutting-edge graphics and gameplay. Now, this isn't my first rodeo with Persona 3. My first playthrough of Persona 3 was via Persona 3 Fez on the PlayStation 2, via PlayStation 3's digital download. Every time I mention this, we always go into a convoluted mess, so let's carry on. What an amazing time I had with Persona 3 Reload this year. It was my first time actually completing Persona 3. Now, although I said that I played Persona 3 Fez, I didn't actually complete it, but with this had all the modern sensibilities that I am looking for within a JRPG, and the fact that I played this on the Steam Deck, playing it handheld, being able to play it in my own time, well, it's just amazing. Everything has just been completely revamped for the better. I thought that the combat was amazing, the music was outstanding. I mean, come on, anytime Atlus release a game, you know that your ears are going to praise you. And man, this is a darker story compared to the previous Personas that I have played, the likes of Persona 4 Golden and the likes of Persona 5. Now, although this is a big chunky boy when it comes to its playtime, I nearly clocked in about under 100 hours maybe. You know what, it never outstayed its welcome. I just enjoyed going around Tartarus, I liked the outside social links, I just thought everything was great. And yet to pick up episode, I guess the DLC, I'll get to at some point when the price maybe drops, because that's still pretty expensive. But if you have played Persona 3 Reload this year, what were your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Final Fantasy 15, which was originally released back in 2016 for the likes of PlayStation, Xbox. It had a further release on PC and Google Stadia, which is no longer around. Anyway, moving on. Now in the 15th installment of Final Fantasy, we follow Noctis, Prompto, Gladio and Ignis on their journeys in the land of Eos. We follow the story of growth, brotherhood and their fight against the Niflheim Empire. A Final Fantasy to break conventions, which brought a more action-based combat system compared to its turn-based predecessors. Now the real question you've probably got on your mind is, wait a minute, why is a game from 2016 on the best played JRPGs of 2024? That does not make sense. Let me tell you why it makes sense, right? So, you may be aware that I got a Steam Deck this year, okay? Now, one of the dreams that I had when I first got a Nintendo Switch, yes, I went to Nintendo Switch there, was that I was hoping that maybe Final Fantasy 15 will get a miracle port to there so I could finally play that on a handheld. Now, Final Fantasy 15 is one of my favourite Final Fantasies. I absolutely adore that game. It was one of the games which got me excited for Final Fantasy again when I got back into JRPGs. So, when I got a Steam Deck, the first game that I played and completed on that was Final Fantasy 15. Now the Windows edition is spectacular. It comes with all the DLC as well, which I hadn't played previous. The likes of Episode Prompto, Episode Ignis, Episode Gladio, you see where I'm going with this. And I loved every single second of this. This was a dream come true, being able to play in this world handheld. And the other point as well, ironically, is that my best video of this year was a Final Fantasy 15 review on the Steam Deck. Who would have thunk? This game ran so well on that machine, and I really just appreciated the story way more than I ever have. I've replayed Final Fantasy 15 so many times, but this one felt more special than before. The fact for so long that I've wanted to play this handheld and now I finally got to achieve that, it's just something that cannot be described. And come on, who doesn't love Ignis saying,
"I've come up with a new recipe."
So we've got to this bit of the video again. You know what I'm going to ask? Please subscribe. Thank you. Love you. Tatty bye. Well, actually watch the rest of the video. Sea of Stars, which was developed and published by Sabotage Studios, released in the 29th of August 2023. Now, as per the bio, Sea of Stars is a turn-based RPG inspired by the classic. It tells the story of two children of the solstice, who will combine the powers of the sun and the moon to perform eclipse magic, the only force capable of fending off the monstrous creations of the evil alchemist known as the Fleshmancer. Now this indie RPG from Sabotage Studios is a gorgeous pixelated game with amazing turn-based combat. So yes, Sea of Stars at the number 2 spot of the best JRPGs that I played in 2024. One thing that I absolutely fell for this game was its story. There were so many twists and turns that I can't really go into detail during this because I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it had the same sort of impact with a certain scene like Final Fantasy VII, the original one. Now, if you know what scene I'm talking about, right? There was a moment in Sea of Stars which made me go, no way. It just made my jaw drop. Now, if a game does that, it will stick with me. Now, if you have played Sea of Stars, my only hint towards this moment will be is where the boss battle has a slight change in variation. Listen to the song Encounter Elite version 2.1 and you'll understand that moment. The cast of characters in this game, the likes of Valir, Zale and Garl, our warrior cook, I just love this party. And honestly, this is some of the best pixelated artwork that I have seen within a video game. Now, I've mentioned on this channel plenty of times before that music is something which is really important to me within a video game. Now, Eric W. Brown, I've mentioned on this channel before, has done an outstanding job with this soundtrack. The likes of Encounter Elite, Battle On, and my favourite boss battle music, Duplicus Wrath Part 2. That part in that song is just amazing. It's so heavy. Now, I've seen before online that people say, oh, it's not a great story, it's kind of boring, blah 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 blah. The way that I saw it, I looked at it from a different perspective. I didn't think of Valir and Zale being the main characters. Yes, you play as either one of them, but my focus was on Garl. Garl, the warrior cook. Because he is everything to our main cast of characters. Now, honestly, this could have been in the number 1 slot. Now, you could probably guess what is going to be in the number 1 slot. I've kind of been hinting towards it all year, but Sea of Stars would have been very close to taking that top spot. But anyway, have you played Sea of Stars? Let me know what your thoughts were of this game down below. Now, before we get cracking on to the best JRPG that I played of this year, well, let's have a look at some honourable mentions. Yokai Watch 2 Bony Spirits. Now, I bet you weren't expecting a yokai game to be on this list. Now, this year was the first time I played any type of yokai game, so I first played Yokai Watch 1 on a Nintendo 3DS, and then I went straight on to one of its sequels. Now, this was an amazing sequel. It built upon everything which was great in the original and just blasted it up tenfold. The fact that this had an amazing world on a small cartridge was just outstanding. The comedy in this game was on point. I enjoyed the turn-based combat in it as well, and the yokai are just ace. I mean, what else is there to say? Apart from I really want to play Yokai Watch 3, but god damn, it's so expensive. I mean, if anyone wants to give me 250 odd pounds so I could buy this second hand, yeah, you're more than welcome. 8-Bit Adventures 2. Now, this is an absolutely outstanding game from Critical Games. Now, this indie RPG with its 8-bit graphics just grabbed me from the get-go. Now, I had to include this game on this list because of the backstory that I had with this and everything that I went through to actually get to this moment. Because, well, when I first started off YouTube, I originally heard of 8-Bit Adventure 2 from good friend of the channel, Luca from Fieto Gaming. He did a review of the PC version. Now, I thought to myself, I'm going to email the game developer and see if there's going to be a Nintendo Switch version and if I could review it when it comes out. Never emailed a game developer before, and I spoke to Joshua from Critical Games and he was really nice about it. And when the console versions did finally get announced, well, Joshua got back in touch and asked if I got my review code, which I hadn't, and he was like, right, he chased it up for me. I couldn't believe a game developer went out that way to support a small content creator like myself. And I've made sure to support Critical Games where I can. I think Joshua from Critical Games, if he's watching, will understand anytime he posts anything about the game, he'll always see the meme which I've created for 8-Bit Adventures 2. Did somebody say 8-Bit Adventures 2? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I mean, come on, you knew it was going to be at number 1. I've been saying all year that this was going to be my game of the year. Yeah. So yes, we follow Cloud and party after the events of Final Fantasy VII Remake as they explore the world of Gaia in their quest to find and beat Sephiroth. With a fully fleshed out world to explore and its amazing hybrid combat system better than ever, this was the perfect sequel. This game, for me, was absolutely everything I was looking for in Final Fantasy VII. The exploration of the world of Gaia was just how I imagined it in my head when I originally played Final Fantasy VII back in 1997 on the PlayStation 1. Getting out of Kham and going onto the grasslands is something which will stand out to me for the rest of my gaming life. The performances from the voice actors in this game should be commended because it is just incredible how they have brought these characters to life. And they even got my wee boy Kate Sith Scottish as well in this game. Gotta love that. Now when I first played this game, I went essentially just through the story because with being a content creator, well, I kind of had to try and dodge as much spoilers as possible. So I thought the best way to avoid this is just to get through the story first of all and revisit it. Now I was expecting some changes. Now most of the game has stayed true to the original. The changes which were there I absolutely loved and I cannot wait to see where part 3 takes us. Now currently at the time of recording as well, I am going through a second playthrough of the game on the PlayStation 5 where I'm currently 100%ing every single area, and I tell you what, this has just opened up my eyes to the game even more. There are so much details that I missed within my first playthrough which is opened up via the side quests. It's made me appreciate the characters even more to how much I appreciated them on my first playthrough. And it's got to be said, Queen's Blood is one of the best card games I've ever played within a Final Fantasy. Sorry Triple Triad, you had your moment. Queen's Blood is here. And the OST in this game is just the epitome of Chef's Kiss. This soundtrack has just been orchestrated to perfection. Look, if you've been following my channel for a good while, you knew that this was going to be here. We all knew that this was going to be the #1 game of the year, and it deserves this spot either way. The Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has been announced for the PC. It's coming out in January of 2025, and apparently it's being optimized for Steam Deck. That's going to be very interesting to see how that runs. So maybe we might play it and review it on Steam Deck. Maybe not. We'll see. So there we have it. Those are the 5 best JRPGs I played in 2024. What has been the best JRPG that you played this year? Let me know in the comments down below. Now if you like what you're hearing and seeing on this channel, well please help me grow it by liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything Chicken Fillets, you know what to do. Hit that notification bell. This has been John, aka Chicken Fillets, and until next time, ta-ta bye!